This is Katie Wethman with the Wethman Group at Keller Williams, and I wanted to talk to you for just a minute about home inspections. So when we find ourselves in a situation where we're competing against other offers and we're pulling all the levers trying to make our offer the best it can be and the most appealing it can be to the seller so that they go with us, one of the things we look at is home inspections. Now, in a normal transaction, if we were the only offer in, we would typically ask for a home inspection and give ourselves about 7 days or so. We do a full home inspection, and at the end of that inspection period, we provide to the seller a copy of the report and a list of repairs we're asking them to do. And then we have a time period where we negotiate that list. Now, when we're competing, we might want to give a little bit on that. So we have a couple of options at our disposal. So the first and probably the most uncomfortable is to just waive the home inspection. Now, if you're buying a condo or maybe even a townhouse that's newer, it's not uncommon to waive the home inspection, especially in a condo when the home inspector is not looking at the building anyway. They're only looking at things within the four walls of the unit. So things like HVAC, appliances, hot water heater, the electrical outlets, the doors, and whether or not they close, etc. So you might be able to mitigate your risk by buying a home warranty instead of spending that money on a home inspection. So that's one option. But if you find yourself with a house where you're not comfortable waiving the home inspection completely, we do have other options. So the next best thing to waiving it from a seller's perspective is to get permission to do a pre-offer inspection. And that's simply what it sounds like. We bring in an inspector prior to writing the offer. We do need to get the seller's permission to do that. And then you get the report and you decide, I'm either going to go forward with this offer as is, or I have some concerns and I'm not going to make an offer, or I'm going to make the offer subject to certain repairs being done. But typically it's a go or no-go decision. So that's certainly something that we can plan for if we have enough notice. So if there's an offer deadline, sometimes there's no time for that. But in an ideal world, we have a few days, we can get an inspector in there prior to an offer deadline. If we can't do a pre-offer inspection and we still want to include a home inspection contingency, we have two different types that we could include. One is the traditional type that I described a few minutes ago, and that is to go in within a certain number of days, get a list of things that are that need attention, and then negotiate that list. The second option is called a right to void inspection, or sometimes you'll hear it referred to as a go no go or a pass fail. So what that means is we have a very brief window of time, maybe 2 or 3 days, where we will bring an inspector in. You will get the report, but you are agreeing in advance that you will not ask for repairs. You will either go forward with the contract and the house as is, or you will void the contract and get your deposit back. Now, can you void for any reason? Yes, you can. It's solely in your discretion, which of course sellers don't necessarily like, but it is within your rights. Now, what if you find something really big? Do you have to walk away? Are you absolutely banned from asking for repairs? No. In reality, you can ask for repairs. We also typically have a discussion with the listing agent to say, hey, this unexpected thing came up in the inspection. It's really expensive. We really need to think about whether or not we want to go forward. Do you think your seller's open to a discussion, or would they rather us just walk away? And 99 times out of 100, they're going to say, let's talk, and we can usually work something out. So no promises on that, but it is a good way to mitigate your risk by doing a right to void inspection rather than a full traditional home inspection. So those are just some of the things that we can be talking about depending on your situation and how competitive it is.